What really makes a bullet lethal? Is it sheer size? Stopping power? Knockdown force? For years, gun enthusiasts have debated this endlessly, throwing around myths and half-truths like gospel. Some swear by the old belief bigger bullet, bigger damage. Others argue that speed and precision matter more. But here's the truth, it's not that simple. A massive .45 ACP might look intimidating, but is it really the ultimate one-shot stopper? And what about the ever-popular 9mm HAS? Its so-called weakness been completely misunderstood. The reality is that a bullet's effectiveness isn't just about size, it's about a perfect balance of penetration, expansion, and shot placement. Without these factors, even the most powerful caliber is just a chunk of metal flying through the air. Today, we're cutting through the noise and diving deep into the science behind bullet lethality. From popular handgun calibers to revolutionary ammunition designs, we're breaking down what truly matters in a self-defense scenario. By the end of this video, you might be surprised to learn that the deadliest caliber in America isn't the one you think. Let's get started. Magnum calibers. When people talk about the most deadly calibers, the usual suspects are the .44 Magnum, .454 Casull, and other high-powered rounds. These calibers were designed primarily for big game hunting, typically used in large-frame revolvers that deliver immense stopping power. Take the .44 Magnum, for example. It commonly fires a 240-grain bullet at speeds of 1,200 to 1,300 feet per second from a 6-inch barrel, generating 750 to 900 foot-pounds of energy for lb. The .454 Casull takes it even further, pushing a 300-grain bullet to speeds of up to 1,600 feet per second, producing over 1,600 feet lb of energy, an absolutely staggering amount of force. These numbers showcase the sheer raw power of Magnum calibers, making them excellent for taking down large animals. But when it comes to self-defense, that extreme power becomes more of a liability than an asset. The first issue? Massive recoil. In a high-pressure self-defense scenario, being able to control your firearm and get off follow-up shots quickly is critical. But with Magnum rounds, the heavy recoil and long reset time make rapid follow-up shots challenging, if not impossible, for many shooters. The second concern is over-penetration. Magnum bullets don't just stop at the target, they punch through walls, doors, and multiple barriers with ease. This poses a serious risk to bystanders, particularly in urban or home defense situations. Lastly, firearms chambered for Magnum calibers are large and heavy, making them impractical for everyday carry. Compared to smaller, more manageable handguns, Magnum revolvers are far less convenient to carry, draw, and control in a real-world defensive encounter. So, while Magnum calibers deliver extraordinary power, they aren't the best choice for self-defense. In real-world situations, the balance between recoil, penetration, and maneuverability matters far more than sheer force alone. Handgun calibers. When it comes to self-defense, most shooters consider popular calibers like 9mm, 40 S&W, and .45 ACP. These rounds strike a balance between recoil, penetration, and stopping power, making them top choices for both law enforcement and civilian use. 9mm, the king of self-defense rounds? It's no coincidence that 9mm is the most widely used handgun caliber worldwide. With bullet weights ranging from 115 to 147 grains, an average velocity of 1,001, 200 feet per second, and muzzle energy around 300,400 feet lb. The 9mm offers an ideal balance of power and control. Its biggest advantage? Lower recoil, which allows shooters to fire faster and more accurately, especially in high-stress situations. Plus, 9mm pistols typically have higher magazine capacities. For example, the Glock 17 holds 17 rounds, compared to just 8 rounds in a 1911 chambered .45 ACP. 40 S&W. The middle ground between 9mm and .45 ACP. designed to deliver more power than 9mm while remaining more manageable than 45 ACP. 40 S&W was the standard for many U.S. police departments throughout the 1990s and 2000s. It typically fires a 165 to 180 grain bullet at 9,501,100 feet per second, generating 400,500 feet lb of energy. However, its harsher recoil and slower follow-up shots led many agencies to switch back to 9mm, especially as advancements in bullet technology made 9mm perform just as effectively as 40 S&W in self-defense situations. 45 ACP. Does bigger always mean better? The 45 ACP is famous for low penetration but excellent stopping power, thanks to its large and heavy bullets 185,230 grains, moving at relatively slow speeds of 8,001,000 feet per second, producing 350,500 feet lb of energy. Its biggest advantage? It creates large wound channels, helping to stop threats more quickly. However, its downside is lower magazine capacity. Most 45 ACP pistols hold 7 to 10 rounds, compared to 15 to 17 rounds in 9mm handguns. So, which one should you choose? For self-defense, 9mm is arguably the best choice due to its lower recoil, higher capacity, and improved terminal performance with modern bullet designs. 40 S&W remains a middle ground option but is losing favor, while 45 ACP is still a solid choice for those who prefer fewer but more powerful rounds. Bullet technology. Bullet technology has advanced significantly in recent decades, making smaller calibers far more effective than they once were. Today, choosing the right ammunition isn't just about caliber size but also bullet type and real-world performance. Hollow point, the gold standard for self-defense. For self-defense and law enforcement, hollow point bullets are the gold standard. When they hit a target, their hollowed-out tips expand rapidly, creating larger wound channels and increasing stopping power without excessive penetration. Advantages of hollow point bullets: better stopping power due to larger wound cavities, reduced risk of overpenetration, minimizing collateral damage, works well with smaller calibers like 9mm, making them as effective as larger rounds. Popular choices include Federal HST, Speer Gold Dot, and Hornady Critical Defense. Full Metal Jacket FMJ for training and military use. FMJ bullets have a copper jacket surrounding a lead core, which enhances penetration but does not expand upon impact. This makes them less effective for self-defense but suitable for training since they are more affordable than hollow points. Military use due to international treaties like the Hague Convention, which prohibit hollow points in warfare. While FMJ rounds offer high penetration, their use in self-defense can be dangerous, as they may overpenetrate and hit unintended targets. Modern bullet technologies. Beyond hollow points and FMJs, modern innovations have further optimized bullet performance. Bonded bullets prevent bullet separation upon impact, maximizing retained weight and effectiveness. Polymer tip bullets feature a polymer tip for enhanced accuracy and controlled expansion. Frangible bullets designed to shatter upon impact, reducing overpenetration and collateral damage. These advancements have made smaller rounds like 9mm just as effective, if not more so than larger calibers, reshaping the debate between big versus small bullets, size versus practicality. When choosing a caliber, performance isn't the only factor, practicality matters just as much. A powerful handgun is great on paper, but if it's too bulky, difficult to carry, or hard to control, its real-world effectiveness diminishes. Gun size and carryability. For personal defense, the ability to conceal and carry comfortably everyday carry, EDC, is crucial. Handguns chambered in 45 ACP or 44 Magnum tend to be larger, heavier, and hold fewer rounds. In contrast, 9mm firearms are more compact, lighter, and typically have higher magazine capacities, making them ideal for self-defense. Compact subcompact guns exempli Gracia, Glock 19, SIG P365, S&W Shield easy to conceal, comfortable for daily carry. Full-size guns exempli Gracia, 1911, Desert Eagle, S&W 686 better accuracy and control, suited for military or law enforcement. Choosing between size versus power depends not just on personal preference but also on intended use. Recoil and control. Larger calibers generally come with greater recoil, making fast and accurate shooting more difficult, especially for less experienced shooters. For example, 9mm has low recoil, making it easier to control and allowing for faster follow-up shots. .45 ACP has stronger recoil, which slows down shot recovery time. .44 Magnum has extreme recoil, significantly reducing firing speed and requiring greater skill to manage. This is why most modern law enforcement and military forces prefer 9mm. It allows for faster, more accurate, and more controlled shooting in real-world situations. Magazine capacity a critical factor. Another key factor is ammo capacity. A standard 9mm pistol typically holds 12-17 rounds, while a .45 ACP, or .44 Magnum, may hold only 68 rounds. In self-defense or prolonged engagements, every extra round matters. Having 510 more rounds in a magazine can mean the difference between life and death. This is one of the reasons the FBI switched from .40 S&W back to 9mm. They found that rate of fire, accuracy, and capacity outweighed the marginal stopping power advantage of a larger caliber. Final takeaway: larger calibers more powerful, but heavier, bulkier, and harder to control. Smaller calibers like 9mm easier to carry, easier to control, faster shooting, and higher capacity. In real-world combat, a smaller, easier to handle gun is far more effective than a large caliber firearm you can't control well. Skill, accuracy, and training. When evaluating firearm effectiveness, caliber and power aren't the only factors. Shooter skill is the most critical element. A powerful gun can't compensate for a lack of experience or poor shooting technique. Caliber size doesn't replace skill. There's a common misconception that a larger caliber automatically means a more effective firearm. In reality, landing accurate shots quickly is far more important than raw stopping power. A well-placed 9mm shot is far more effective than a missed .44 Magnum round. In self-defense situations, reaction speed and follow-up shots matter more than the stopping power of a single bullet. This is why law enforcement and military forces worldwide favor 9mm over larger calibers like .40 S&W or .45 ACP. Recoil and its effect on accuracy. A firearm with excessive recoil is harder to control, especially in high-stress situations. If you can't consistently hit your target, then caliber size becomes meaningless. 9mm has lower recoil, easier to maintain sight alignment, allowing for faster follow-up shots. .45 ACP has stronger recoil, makes rapid, accurate shooting more challenging. .44 Magnum has extreme recoil, nearly impossible to use effectively for quick defensive shooting. If you don't train regularly, choosing a firearm with lower recoil and better control will significantly improve your ability to shoot accurately when it matters. Training the ultimate equalizer. No gun can turn a poor shooter into a skilled marksman. Regular training is the most important factor. Master the fundamentals: proper grip, trigger control, and sight alignment. Train in real-world conditions. Practice in simulated self-defense scenarios rather than just static target shooting. Develop reaction speed and draw efficiency in a life-threatening situation. Reaction time is more important than caliber size. The difference between a skilled shooter with a 9mm and an inexperienced shooter with a .45 ACP could mean life or death. Final takeaway: skill matters more than caliber. A small round that hits is better than a big round that misses. Recoil affects real-world effectiveness. Easier to control guns lead to better accuracy. Training determines firearm effectiveness. No gun can replace skill development. At the end of the day, the best gun isn't the most powerful, it's the one you can control and use effectively. So, after all this talk, what really is the deadliest caliber? If you were expecting a simple answer, here's the truth: there isn't one. A bigger bullet doesn't guarantee a faster stop. More velocity doesn't always mean more effectiveness. What truly matters is shot placement, penetration, and your ability to control the firearm. You could be holding a .44 Magnum, but if you miss under pressure or can't handle the recoil, it won't do you any good. Meanwhile, a well-placed 9mm or even a .380 ACP can be just as deadly in the right hands. At the end of the day, skill always beats caliber. No bullet can make up for poor aim, slow reaction time, or lack of training. That's why I always say train first, choose caliber second. But now, I want to hear from you. Do you think caliber size still plays a major role in self-defense? Or has modern ammo technology changed the game? Let's settle this debate in the comments. What's your go-to caliber for self-defense? Have you had any real-world experience that changed your mind about a certain round? I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We've got plenty more deep dives coming your way. See you in the next one, and remember, the best caliber is the one you can shoot accurately when it matters most.